Hey there. I am Kathy Brown, registered dietitian and certified personal trainer, and I love talking all things nutrition and wellness for active women over 40. My latest Substack article was about discipline, and I'm coming at discipline from a different angle than what you might expect from most wellness professionals because I actually don't believe that discipline is all that it's made out to be. I think that we all need a little bit of discipline to at least get started with a wellness routine. But when you rely on discipline as the sole source of motivation to keep you going, that's when the wheels can come off. And particularly for women in midlife, when you've got so many things going on. I mean, women in this group, perimenopause, postmenopause, tend to have careers and families of their own, and then also maybe taking care of aging parents or other family members, trying to maintain relationships outside of the family. And it all adds up. And I would argue that the women that I work with, active women over 40, just by nature are disciplined women already. Successful careers, keeping a family going. Oftentimes they are the one that keeps the household running. And they're also maintaining an active lifestyle. And so discipline is there. It's not the problem that they don't have discipline. But I often have women come to my clinic and say, I just can't stay consistent with nutrition. And I talk to them about their life and what's going on. And it becomes clear to me that they're not inconsistent women by any means. They are extremely disciplined women in all areas of their life. And the routine that they're trying to implement, the nutrition plan that they're trying to put into place, isn't working because it doesn't fit their life. They're trying to do too much. They're trying to completely overhaul their diet. A lot of times it involves them trying to do something like the keto diet or intermittent fasting or um, this highly restrictive vegetarian or vegan diet when in the past that's not how they ate. And so they're trying to completely overhaul everything, or maybe they're trying to force themselves to cook 4 or 5 nights a week after they get home from a long day at work and they're trying to juggle the kids and everything else. And that was never going to work for them. That's the thing. If something doesn't fit into your life, then it's never going to work. You can have all the discipline on the planet, but if you rely on discipline to keep forcing something that wasn't meant for you, then either A, it's going to fall apart and you're not going to be able to continue to do it. And then there's nothing there. Like all the changes you made, you're starting back at square one. Or B, you start to compromise other areas of your life that are important to you. And where it really becomes problematic is when self care starts to fall by the wayside. Other forms of wellness, like sleep, that's often something that gets sacrificed for the sake of having a perfect routine when it comes to nutrition and fitness. Um, and then sometimes it's the me time that we all need to recharge sometimes, or it's connecting with friends or family members. These are all important parts of your wellness. And so the nutrition routine that you put into place, the exercise plan that you have, these are things that should work with everything else, not take over. And that's where a lot of women that I work with make a mistake is they are driven women. They want to get results. They want to get results fast. They're high achievers. And so they try to do too much at one time. And nobody can do that. not with the demands of day-to-day life on top of it. And when you're trying to completely rework your already busy schedule to fit these things in, the wheels are eventually going to fall off in some way, shape, or form. And a lot of times it ends up with just giving up. And then the individual feels like a failure. And in reality, they're not a failure. It's just that the plan was never right for them to begin with. And that's really where individualized nutrition, individualized exercise plans, wellness routines come into play and are so, so, so important. Because while a routine, a wellness plan may involve some modifications to your schedule, number one, it shouldn't interfere with the things that are really important to you, the family time, the career. Yes, maybe you need to start blocking off lunchtime so that you can actually eat or go for a walk after your lunch. But when you're having to compromise in areas of your life that are important, that becomes a problem. When you really kind of look at your schedule, the things that you can shift around a lot of times are things like scrolling the internet or, that shopping trip that you could maybe purchase online. Little things like that. Sleep is extremely important, and this is one where I see women quite often, shortchanging the time that they have to sleep in order to squeeze in that extra exercise or in order to pack lunches for the week. And there are ways to get these things done without compromising sleep. There is a schedule that will work for you, that will fit into your life. Um, it just may not be the high-powered, quick results schedule that you want, but you really just have to take into consideration what is your capacity right now and be realistic about that. Because forcing something, forcing yourself to use discipline to do something that number one is not enjoyable and or you dread doing, that's not sustainable. And in the end, wellness is only effective when you're able to be consistent. And if something isn't sustainable, if it interferes with your life too much, if you are dreading the things that you need to do to stick with the plan, then it's not sustainable. It's not going to be something that you can be consistent with. So the best way to really get a wellness routine that is consistent, that is moving the needle for you, is to make small changes that you can fit into your life. You may need to make some small tweaks to your schedule to fit it in, but if you have to overhaul your entire routine to make it work, it's not going to work. Okay. So pick small things that you know you can start doing today. And don't try to do too many at one time. Usually 1 to 3 small shifts are the most that I recommend, because if you try to do too many, it's going to become overwhelming. And 1 to 3 generally is doable. And then over time they become automatic. They become a part of your day to day, just like putting on your shoes before you go to work. Once it becomes natural and automatic like that, then you can add more small little changes as you go. The cumulative effects of consistent small changes is so much greater than doing a huge overhaul for a month or two and then quitting. And I'm going to remind you again, I'm not saying it's you quitting because you failed. It's because that plan didn't work with your life. So find nutrition, exercise plans that are specific to your needs. Individualized nutrition is something I push all the time because in this phase of life, none of us have the same needs. And so, start with the small things that you know you can start doing today. If you're not sure where to start, then working someone like myself, a dietitian, can help guide you towards those changes. I know a lot of people think dietitians just tell you what not to eat. You can't eat this anymore. You have to cook 5 nights a week. But that's not how I work. I work with you to get to know your life and your needs and what your day to day is like so that we can find things that work for you specifically. I really feel like individualized nutrition and exercise plans are really important, especially in this phase of life. If you don't know where to start with making small changes, a dietitian or health coach can help you. I have a link on my website. My website is kathybrownnutrition.com. If you're interested in finding out if you want to work with me, you can book a free 20-minute call with me there. Just go to the services page and click on book a call. If you decide not to work with a coach, just start making small changes that you know you can work into your life, and they will add up over time. Um, if you haven't already done so, I encourage you to subscribe to my Substack. It's called Feel Strong After 40. And I think that's all I'm going to say for today. I hope you all have a wonderful week. And until next time, bye.